Don't stop scrubbing. The house beside me has been vacant for years. Until last week, a woman and her teenage daughter have moved in. I haven't heard much about them. All I knew was that she has recently become a widow and her daughter had some sort of facial disfigure, and that's why she constantly wore sunglasses and a long scarf to cover half her face. As the friendly neighbor I am, I decided to pay them a visit and welcome them to the neighborhood. I walked over with a friendly smile expecting to get the same treatment. Yet I was wrong. I clearly saw them through their window. The mother seemed like she was going through some boxes and her daughter was blankly staring at a wall. I kept knocking, but no matter how loud or consistent I got, I still received no answer. I finally gave up 5 minutes later. Forgetting the strange occurrence that happened today, I decided to hop in a warm bathtub and relax for a while. The sound of the water trickling down my legs soothed me as the tub filled up slowly. I got tired and decided to rest my eyes for a second. As soon as I shut my eyes, I heard my doorbell ring. Again and again, and again. I got tired of the ringing sound filling up my empty thoughts echoing eerily, so I decided to get a robe and rush to the door. With no hesitation, I opened the door to find my next-door neighbor and her daughter look at me. No words were exchanged for a solid minute before I decided to break the ice by mentioning that I stopped by earlier today. She lightly brushed it off and mentioned that tomorrow morning she will be gone to her husband's funeral and wouldn't like her daughter to attend, therefore asked if I was interested in looking after her for the day and she will pay. I mean, I needed the money and she seemed sweet, so I agreed. The only strange thing was, why would she allow a stranger to look after her daughter? I didn't think much of it. Maybe she was desperately in need of someone to look after her, and since I seemed so unthreatening with my petite figure, she didn't hesitate to ask me. Morning came quickly and I already woke up with the girl knocking on my door. I let her in and without saying a word she sat on the couch staring in the distance. I found it odd, yet I didn't question it since she might be a closed-off person and as her dad recently passed away it was understandable. I sat next to her turning on the TV and an ordinary makeup ad came up. She silently started muttering, "Makeup, makeup." I looked at her in awe and asked if maybe she wanted to try some on. Without hesitation, she nodded. I took her to my room and started removing her scarf and glasses. Nothing was wrong with her. Her face looked perfectly fine, which puzzled me, but I didn't ask a thing because it just didn't feel right. I applied her makeup and watched her smile, which warmed my heart. The whole day passed by. She let me know she finally felt pretty, but we have to hide from her mommy. I didn't think she would care since she was old enough anyways. She kept tugging on my shirt, letting me know her mom was coming. I felt chills come down my spine as she started screaming her mom is coming in a manic manner. Her mom indeed did arrive. But as soon as she saw her daughter's face, her jaw dropped. She grabbed her by the arm and rushed her to my bathroom, where she started scrubbing her face roughly with a sponge she found under my sink. I let her know I have makeup wipes, but she ignored me. She kept scrubbing and scrubbing with a psychotic look on her face. The strangest part was that her daughter didn't say a word, she just stared as always. Her mother was sobbing and I quickly tried to stop her as I saw blood drip on the ground. She scrubbed the flesh off of her face. And the girl was still awfully silent. Instead of interfering, I got petrified and called 911. That week not only did she get charged with the abuse of her daughter, but also for being a runaway murderer after killing her husband. She was later released and put back in a mental institution. Her daughter too was seeking treatment since she has been severely traumatized by the numerous abuses she endured from her mother. After that incident, the only sentence her daughter could say was, "Don't stop scrubbing." The kid next door. Sorry for grammatical errors in advance, this was a long story. This all started about 4 years ago in the 3rd grade. I lived in your average suburban neighborhood. Medium-sized houses, white fences, nothing too fancy. But there was always this one kid growing up, we will call him Greg, that seemed off. You would see him watching us through his window, and occasionally when he was with us would say weird things that didn't really make sense at the time. We were young and didn't really think too much of it. For a little more context, I moved into the neighborhood the summer before kindergarten and had only been with Greg for 3 years. After a year with Greg, we found out his parents had gotten a divorce, so he now switched houses back and forth every week. But the summer of 3rd grade, he went missing. Every time we asked our parents about it, they would give us an odd look and just tell us he went to boarding school. Fast forward a year later, his mom moves out and the house eventually goes abandoned. Nobody ever bothered with. It's now the summer of 5th grade and rumors started that the kid died in that house and he now haunted it. We didn't believe it at all and just ignored the rumors. One night I was sleeping over at my friend from across the street's house. There were three of us, me, my friend, we'll call him Tom, and my other friend, we'll call him Jim. We were bored of the typical Madden games and whatnot and decided to go explore the house. We were young and didn't know what trespassing was and thought nothing of it. We started exploring the house and such, goofing off. Occasionally someone would jokingly make a noise or bang on something to try to scare everyone. Eventually we all got to the basement and opened the door. We all got hit with a horrible stench. I don't know how to explain it. It smelled like a combination of skunk and rotten chicken. We didn't think much of it and decided an animal died down there. After our little adventure of exploring the house, we went back to Jim's house and resumed playing Madden. We ended up finally falling asleep around 12 and woke up to a loud banging sound coming from next door, Greg's house. After hearing the rumors and being in the house a few hours ago, we were terrified. The banging was a repetitive sound of thump, thump, wait about 5 seconds then resume. This went on for about 20 minutes and we could not fall asleep for a while after that. The next day we were out playing horse or pig or something on my friend's basketball hoop. I don't remember the details that well, and Tom claimed he saw a shadow that looked like Greg move from the upstairs window of the abandoned house. After the events of last night we decided we should go inside. Fast forward a week later, we have another sleepover, this time at my house. So it starts off like every other sleepover we had. Then once again we decide to go into the house. So once again we are in there goofing off, exploring and whatnot. When suddenly there is a loud bang from the basement. Scared out of our wits, we sprint out of the house, sprint across the street and sprint into my basement as fast as we could. We were pretty shooken up, so we decided to put on a movie till we fell asleep. But just like last time, the thumping starts again, the same thump, thump as the week earlier. At this point we are just ecstatic with fear. We tried to go back to bed but never ended up falling back asleep. Eventually later that day curiosity got the best of us and we wanted to explore the basement of that house and figure out what the sound was. This time everyone is dead serious, there was no more messing around. So we get to the basement door, turn the knob and open the door. Immediately this horrid smell smacks us right in the face. I don't even know how to describe it, and to this day I've never smelled anything like it. But we suck it up and go down anyway. The sight that we saw when we walked down those steps was unreal. Our friend, Greg, was strewn out across the concrete floor of the basement. It was like he exploded from the inside. We all go running out crying. Jim and I are throwing up. Being the age that we were, we had no idea what to do or what had happened. We were shook for a long time after that. We never spoke about it to anyone or even each other. To this day we still don't know what happened or what the thumping noise was, but I think some things are better left unknown. Don't listen to the bells. I don't know if anyone will read this. Hell, I don't even know if I'll finish the post before they come. Some backstory: we just moved into this town. And it's weird. I thought everyone here was into Renaissance, which I could get behind. But they all worship these bells in the center of town. Weird, because they only ring on Halloween. On Halloween, the entire town goes down and just stands there, 2 inches away, listening. Blood trickles down their ears, and they don't care. This Halloween though, it was different. They dragged my parents outside to listen to them. My parents came back rambling about how amazing the sound was, and how more people should hear the beautiful sound. Tomorrow is Halloween. I'm stealing the car and getting out of this place, before I'm forced to listen to the bells, too. Who was that? This story is true and was about 3 years ago. I was about 7 or 8 and was young, so I really didn't think too much. I was home with my family and sometimes me and my brothers and sister would play hide and seek in the dark. So one day, I don't remember if I suggested to play hide and seek, but we did anyway. I remember I was a seeker. I don't remember if I was the seeker or if I got found because I was finding people. I was then in the living room seeing if they would hide, isn't they could, but no, so since the dining room and the kitchen were connected, I checked the dining table under and everywhere. After a couple minutes of searching back and forth, I knew I would have found them by now, so I gave up and headed to the kitchen. I checked the cabinets and was empty. So after I checked there, I looked at the countertops and didn't see anyone. After that I passed my hand on the counter and to my surprise I felt something. I called them out and told them I found them very loudly. I think they would have heard me. So since they didn't respond, I called them out by their names. After I called them for a long time and they didn't get off the countertop, I kind of freaked out because I knew that people could break in people's house, so I immediately left the kitchen. I later found all of them and asked them who was in the countertop. I don't know if they were prancing me or not, but I got nervous and didn't want to play anymore. I think they stopped because there were only 3 of them left. To this day I still don't know who was up there. I keep asking them, but they keep telling me they don't know.